Well, good morning. Good morning. What a great day. Today we're here now it's cold outside and we wanted everyone to stay warm, so we're gonna have our ceremonial groundbreaking for these great convention center improvements. We're gonna have it here, but I'm joined by Council President Miguel A. Melendez Jr. I'm joined by Vinny Esposito, the Regional SVP for Empire State Development. Mike Patterson, Northeast Council District Council Member, Jim Brown, who runs the Convention Center, and as well as Don Jeffries from Visit Rochester, and many folks who made this happen, who you'll hear me thank shortly. But basically what we're here to celebrate is a couple of things, and I want to make sure I get all the points. We're celebrating this $13 million project that will create an additional 1,650 square feet of addition to the Main Street side of the Convention Center. The addition will provide a smaller, modern event space for the Convention Center's use/rental with a glass front looking out on Main Street. It will push forward and brighten the appearance of the Convention Center seen on Main Street. Additional bathrooms are included as are required by the plan. And also on the Main Street side, an LED display panel will be there for advertising new planters, new doors, and repairs to the Convention Center's exterior panels. The South Terrace steps will be eliminated and sloped to make it accessible under ADA, which is always a good thing. And that spot, as you know, is very popular for weddings and other gatherings. The plan is also to expand and update the Convention Center. As you know, this dates back many, many years before many of us were even here, but this is extremely, extremely important. This will orient the Convention Center to the river, which we know we have been trying to do. And this was also approved in our capital improvement plan during our last budget, which I'm so grateful for my two council colleagues for shepherding through the process. There are many people who are here who I want to thank for getting to this point, and in particular, I want to thank our governor, Kathy Hochul in New York State, for recognizing the importance of this project to our downtown. Their ongoing support for our ROC the Riverway initiative has helped us make this possible. And of course, I want to thank our design and engineering and construction partners, Stantec Consulting Services, Architecture PC, Popley Design Group, Lozier Environmental, Lero Engineering, and Vargas Associates. And of course, I want to thank our city staff led by our interim commissioner of the Department of Environmental Services, Kaputea Council, and city engineer Holly Barrett, senior architect Jason Vandermark and Roseanne Khalil, and our construction engineer Matt Putnam. Can we give them all a round of applause? I cannot overstate the value of the hard work put in by all of our design, engineering, and construction partners that make projects like this come to life. Their improvement is helping to make this important project a reality, and I want to thank each and every one of them. Upgrading the Rochester Riverside Convention Center has been under discussion, as I said, for many years, long before many of us have even been in elected office. So to have plans to improve the look of our Main Street, which we are tackling project by project. So I'm proud to say today that we're making progress on both goals as we start work on the addition and the improvements of the Rochester Riverside Convention Center, because the Convention Center isn't just a gathering place, it's one of the first places in Rochester that many visitors will see. If you're coming to a conference or an event, it takes place right here. So we want to make sure that it is welcoming and inviting. This is a place where we want to put our best foot forward. And that's why the Riverside Convention Center must reflect the energy, optimism, and prosperity that is modern day Rochester. The Convention Center has been a community resource and an economic driver for the city since 1985, and whether it's a trade show or a professional conference, a convention, or someone's wedding day, this place is at the heart of what Rochester has to offer. And I think, Jim, we got the dinosaurs coming?
Yes, we
Listen, you can't fit Jurassic dinosaurs just anywhere. So you got to have a place where they can actually fit. You can't fit a T-Rex somewhere, right? But so if you're going to have T-Rexes, you got to be able to have a place to fit them, and that is where our convention center is. So not making the best possible use of the convention center is leaving money on the table. I want to say that again. We leave money on the table for Rochester's economy if we don't have a place where we can attract shows, which brings tax dollars to our city. And you know I don't like leaving money on the table. Now it's my pleasure to invite Vinny Esposito, the Regional Senior Vice President for New York State's Empire State Development Corporation, and a key partner to the stage, to the podium for a few comments on behalf of Governor Hochul. Vince.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be at the Riverside Convention Center, as I tell Jim every time I come. Last month when we gathered to open the Ponte-Ren Bridge, I counted it was the 15th completed project in the ROC the Riverway portfolio, which is pretty incredible. And today we're celebrating the next one. And this has been an anchor institution as part of the ROC the Riverway vision plan from the beginning. Even before that, the Finger Lakes Regional Council was supporting upgrades to this facility because so many Rochesterians rely on it for so many important events and so much employment. This is a really important facility, and it's one we're going to continue to improve, as evidenced by today. But it's more than just ROC the Riverway. It's part of the revitalization of all of the city of Rochester, and I'm really proud to be here on behalf of Governor Hochul. She recognizes that this is a team effort. State, city, private sector working together to bring back our downtown. The convention center is a huge part of that. I'm honored to be part of the URI money through ESD that helped deliver that. I want to thank the teams that have been working on this project, and I also want to thank the team that I work with every day at Empire State Development who helps work on this. Some of them are here. Sherry Voorhees-Vincent, Sharon Gray, Katie Wolf, Bridget O'Brien. Many of them you know, many of them you don't, but they've been working with me on ROC the Riverway for many years. I am one of those dinosaurs, I guess, that have been working on some of this from the beginning. But they're the ones that really make it happen. It's a pleasure to be here. Congratulations to everyone involved.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinny. And now I want to bring up Council President Miguel A. Melendez, Jr., who is a big advocate of the Convention Center. It's not often that him or Councilmember Patterson, who you hear from in a second, will say, hey, I was just in this city at a meeting and I saw their convention center. What are we doing? We want to have the connection. We want to make sure we have that. And he's also the City Council's representative to the Convention Center Board as well. President Melendez.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an exciting project. As a board member of the Convention Center, as a council representative, I know the importance of this building, this facility, and what it does for our community. In addition, this is a place of employment. There are a lot of jobs that get offered by virtue of the Convention Center for our residents. And investing in the Convention Center, we have the best convention center in all of upstate New York. We absolutely do. And we must continue to use this as a point of pride. We are right along the river here, the center of our city. We have a hotel across the street that we're hoping will also get renovated. And this is the hub for economic activity for downtown Rochester. We must continue to invest here. So I'm excited about this project. I know that there's going to be more requests. We are thankful to Governor Hochul for the support, and Vinny for always thinking about Rochester's downtown and the Convention Center specifically. But we certainly want to also acknowledge our state delegation who goes to bat for us to bring resources back home to Rochester as well. So thank you all, and we look forward to continuing this work.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much for your unwavering support and commitment to Rochester and to the Convention Center as its representative, representing City Council. And now our Northeast Council District Council member, Michael A. Patterson, who I'm sure he'll say a few words about this, but he is very familiar with what other cities has to offer, and he believes, and as do I, Rochester deserves the exact same thing. And this convention center is an economic development tool, and he understands that. Our Northeast District Council member, Michael A. Patterson.
Thank you. So I rarely step out of the Northeast, but I'm willing to make an exception for the convention center because it's literally across the street, Northeast, other side of the So look, economic development is always more than most folks think it is. And this is another shining tool that we have that is attracting additional development and additional growth. If you're an old head like me, you remember when there were other buildings in this space before it was a convention center. I'm that old. I remember those buildings. I still see them when I go by the convention center. But what I'm hoping that we'll be able to do, not only with this project, but with the project across the street and all the other projects that we have going on in downtown and across this community, is rebuild that economic vitality that we know as a community we have. We know that work works. And the more work we can bring to this community in all of its varied forms, the better off everybody is. You might not go to a convention. You know, the funny thing about being in Rochester is that you rarely step into your own convention center, because when you go to a convention, it's usually somewhere else. But when I hear from folks from other communities, they are amazed with the quality of our convention center. What they are challenged by is the lack of opportunity and shopping that exists outside of our convention center. And that is our next phase of growth and development. Downtown's never going to be the economic hub of Monroe County again. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But it should be a viable shopping opportunity for the communities around it and for the community that is growing up in downtown. And we're just going to keep doing that work. And Vinny, Governor Hochul, our entire delegation, if you send the dollars to Rochester, we will effectively and productively expend those dollars for the betterment of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to bring up the gentleman who runs this place and does it with such excellence and execution. And when you think excellence and execution, you got to think James Brown, but he goes by Jim Brown. And just like James Brown, he feels good. And he's, you know, you got the hardest working man in show business. That was James Brown. Well, you have the other hardest working man in the convention business, and that's Rochester's James Brown. James Brown of the Rochester Riverside Convention Center, who runs this. Jim.
I think we're going to have to trademark that, Mayor. Thank you very much. And Vinny, if you're a dinosaur, I must be extinct at this point. So I have been here a long time. I do know a lot of the ins and outs of the projects that have been looked at and developed over the years. And my takeaway today is appreciation. Appreciation to the state, Empire State Development, the City of Rochester, City Council, all our partners that understand the importance of these types of venues. You know, convention centers don't always get the limelight, right? You think about stadiums, arenas, theaters, all these public venues, but I can assure you, convention centers drive huge economic benefits in both job creation, employment, economic impact in terms of sales tax. As you know, most sales tax is derived from visitor spending, and that's our task here, is to bring visitors to Rochester. So this addition that we're going to look at here on Main Street is vital because we work in a very, very competitive market, not only in New York State, but in the region and outside of New York and across the country. So things like the addition to Main Street, the restrooms, all are things that meeting planners are looking for today. Modernization is vital. We are almost 40 years old, and we are hoping this is the first step in another step to continue to modernize and renovate the building. So again, very, very appreciative to all our partners for making this happen, and we look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.